If you have chronic muscle aches and pains, and you might have stiffness, you might feel tense in your body, then you may have this condition which I call the slow assassin. It can be uncomfortable at best, and at worst it can be very painful and lead to much more serious conditions. In this video, I'm going to cover how do you know if you've got the slow assassin, what is it, what problems can it cause, and if you stick around until the end, I'll show you a 4-step process to start reversing it. Hi, I'm Ben O'Loughlin. I'm a musician, engineer, and entrepreneur. When I was 22 years old, I had such bad back pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, and fibromyalgia that I had tension headaches 3 or 4 days a week and almost constant pain. I felt this pain. I felt also, honestly, hopelessness. I felt embarrassment, a lot of negative self-esteem from feeling like I was, just somehow not strong enough or not well, not whole. And it restricted a lot of activities I could do. Now, learning about and dealing with this slow assassin was a big part of my recovery to where today those symptoms have mostly cleared up. So my little disclaimer to you is I'm not perfect. I still have the odd tension headache, and some days my back doesn't feel quite right, even though I would say it doesn't really hurt. But I feel like if I hadn't gotten on top of this stuff, then I'd probably be a cripple by now because it was bad and it was getting worse. Now, before I describe to you and define what the slow assassin is, I want you to experience it for yourself if you want to play along. Afterwards, I'll give you a definition and tell you what you can do about it. So here are a few little experiments for you to try. I only do these to the extent that you're comfortable and safe. For some of you, if you've got really bad back issues, this might mean do them, very gently, or don't even do them, just imagine them, and others can do it full bore. Now, the objective isn't to get a workout here, but just to develop some understanding about this assassin. Now, you may want to pause the video and find yourself a chair, ideally something like an office chair or a dining chair rather than a couch or a lazy boy. Now, sit in the chair and reach down and place your fingers under each side of the seat while maintaining a roughly vertical torso. If your only options are bed or a couch or something similar, you can still do the exercise, but you'll need to grab the backs of your thighs instead. Now, make like you're pulling your right arm up towards your shoulder and let go of your left hand. You should bend or tip to the right. Tension in the right arm, and you're leaning to the right. Repeat it on the left side, so pull on your left hand up towards your shoulder and let it tip you over to the left. Tension in the left arm means lean to the left. Now go back to neutral, get both hands under your seat and try and pull both hands up towards your shoulder without bending forward. Note that there's opposing tension in your two arms and you're not leaning anywhere. You should feel the pressure between your bottom and the chair increase. Also increasing, you may not feel it, is the pressure down on each vertebra and all of the intervertebral discs. So let's do another little experiment. Let's use some of these muscle groups to see if we can experience the opposite tension in the torso. Again, only do this to the extent that it's comfortable. If you feel pain, stop. Instead of using your arms to create the opposing tension, let's use the back muscles and the abs. So sit up. If you flex your abs, you'll lean forward like that. If you flex your back, you'll arch your back. Now flex both your back and your abs equally. You won't go anywhere, but you'll be loading up your spine with compression. So the muscle groups are opposing each other, and tensing one means tensing the other. To see how this works, try sitting in the chair, placing both hands on your abs. You can push in a little bit so you can feel what's going on. Tense your back muscles without arching your back and just stay where you are. You should feel your abs kick in to stop your spine from moving and stop your back muscles from pulling you back. You might also feel tightness and pushing down through your torso. That's a sign that your spine is being compressed. Now let off the tension. Feels better, doesn't it? Now, the medical term for tensing opposing muscle groups is co-contraction. I just like double tension. Now, this double tension is actually the slow assassin, and I'm going to explain first why it's an assassin, and then secondly, why it's slow. Then I'll tell you what you can do about it. First, though, if we're going to go talking about compressing the spine, we might as well know a little bit more about it. So the spine's a complex structure, but I'll focus on a few key features. The bones in the spine are known as vertebrae. Each one's a little bit different from the others, but there are some key features. Now, apart from the top two, there's a disc of fiber and cartilage between each pair of vertebrae in the neck, upper and lower back, and at the bottom of the lower back, and this is called intervertebral disc. The squishiness of the inner disc provides a cushion, like a shock absorber, which enables us to bend and twist. And there's a ring of sort of fibrous tissue on the outside of each inner disc, and that keeps the squishy part in place. There are also joints connecting each vertebra with the one above and the vertebra with the one below. These are called facet joints. Now, spinal compression is when you load up your spine by pulling it down. You can see that if all of these muscle groups tense, then you'll be locking down hard Nothing will move, and you'll compress the bejesus out of your spine. This is going to squash the intervertebral discs as well as increasing the pressure on the facet joints. See, the spine is amazingly strong and flexible, but like all things, there are limits. And if you put it under too much sustained compression, then sooner or later something's going to give. When the double tension that we spoke about becomes normal for you, the resulting spinal compression goes on over time, and it can lead to what I call sustained compression injuries, such as osteoarthritis, perforated discs, herniated discs, degenerative disc disorder, nerve pain, inflammation, compromised circulation, etc. I don't have time in this video to explain what those are, but they're a bad scene. You may know about them firsthand, in which case I'm sorry. But this slow assassination of your back by double tension, the relentless crushing, grinding compression, is bad. You may not know you're doing it, but the damage caused by this little bit of self-sabotage will compound and compound over time, and pretty soon you'll find yourself with sustained compression injuries. I say pretty soon, it might be decades, but when it happens, it's bad. Then if you have those injuries, you may get them treated by surgery, for example, but if you haven't addressed the cause, the double tension, then what's likely to happen after that? I tell you, it's probably going to come back. Now, if you have tension-related aches and pains in your neck and back, my claim, without even seeing you, is that there's probably a lot of double tension going on, and that you can reduce it, and that you'll be better for it. All right, so now I'm going to talk about what to do about it. What we need to do, basically, to decrease the compression is to, bit by bit, reduce the double tension. How can we do that? Well, I have to tell you, it takes practice. There isn't a magic wand. But you can experience results pretty quickly depending on where you're at. One quick process for reducing muscle tension is what I call defusing. It doesn't work in all situations. Again, it's not a panacea, but it's totally safe and it might make a big difference for you. So let's have a try. This defusing is part of a larger framework, but just what I'm going to show you today ought to be of some help. So what is the defusing technique? All right, so ever notice if you're having a heated conversation with someone you're sitting across from and you just calm down, then they'll probably calm down too. Your calmness defuses the tension and the antagonism. Well, turns out that works for muscles too. To calm down one muscle, what you need to do is calm down the opposite muscle. Let's do the next step of our experiment to discover how the defuse technique works. So get back to our chair, sit upright in the chair. Again, not if it hurts. Put your hands on your tummy. So tense both your abs and your back muscles so you get the tightness and a pushing down feeling through your whole torso. Now relax your back without moving too much. You should feel your tummy muscles relax as well. You see what we did here? We defused our tummy by relaxing the opposing muscle group. Let's take another example. Suppose the back of your neck is tense. If we applied defusing, we would relax at the front of our neck, around our jaw, our throat, and our face. Now, the muscles at the back of our neck pull our head back. So if we relax the front, either the tense muscles at the back of our neck, the tense, painful muscles are going to pull their head back, or they're going to have to stop pulling as well. If we relax the front and we want to stay still, then we need to relax the back as well. That's the principle. So how do we relax in the front? It can be as simple as saying to yourself gently, my throat is relaxing, my face is relaxing, maybe even my tongue is relaxing. Give that a try now and keep whispering these calming statements to your muscles in the front of your neck. All right, so how did that go? Were you able to feel a release of tension at the back of your neck, even though you were working on the front? Notice that in this case, the pain was in the back of the neck, but the other half of the tension was in the throat. You could say that the pain in the back of your neck was caused by tension in that place, but that tension was just the tip of the iceberg. In particular, your throat was very tense. In actual fact, it's likely that it's not just the back of your neck and your throat, but there's more going on in your body by way of tension. For every pain, there's a lot of iceberg under the water. There's a lot more tension throughout the body. To return to the back, you may think my back is too tense, but the chances are you have this opposing tension in your front and other places. My experience is that you get more mileage by defusing and relaxing the opposing tension than by trying to, fix the one that is hurting. Rather than addressing the part of the iceberg above the water, which is the painful part, you're addressing the part of the iceberg that's under the surface, which is the opposing muscles. There's something about this approach that to me is so nurturing and supportive, in that you're not blaming the painful muscles. You're not saying they've got a problem. You're not bossing them into relaxing. You're just working to remove the stress on them caused by the opposing muscles. In fact, there's a sense in which if you're at the front of your neck that you're not aware of, the back of your neck is actually just trying really hard to keep your head on. So it's actually doing a good job, but just, ideally it wouldn't have to. So that's the defusing process. I'll summarize it with 4 steps. Firstly, identify the area that's giving you grief. If you tighten those muscles further, what movement does it make? Okay, so back of my neck's giving grief. If I tighten those, my head moves back. Okay, now consider the opposite movement, which is head tipping forward. What muscles cause those? So there's a bunch here, sternocleidomastoids, etc., pulling my chin down. So I want to release those ones. I'll ask gently for relaxation in the opposing muscles. So now it's your turn. Let's run the defuse process on the area of your choice. Take an area where you feel pain or discomfort that you think might be related to muscle tension. If you tighten those muscles further, what movement does it make? In that example, moving back. Now consider the opposite movement and what muscles cause that movement. Now ask yourself gently for relaxation in the opposite muscles. Now ask again and breathe and release. All right, so how did you go? Were you able to identify roughly which muscles were feeling tense? Could you see what happened if you overdid that tension? What movement are they trying to create? Did you identify the opposing movement and the muscles that cause that opposing movement? And when you relaxed those opposing muscles, did that do anything to the tension and sensation in the originally tense and painful muscles? Please share your experiences and your thoughts in the comments. I read them all. At first, this defusing effect may seem very small and it only lasts as long as you're thinking about it. But if you keep doing it over and over, you'll weaken the habit of double tension and the defused state will become normal. And you'll get a lot less compression and you'll avoid the sustained compression injuries. Now, the stuff that I'm sharing today is mostly from Alexander technique. And if this is useful, I'd encourage you to learn more about it. Check out the next video. It's called The Best Kept Secret of Human Performance. And that's about Alexander technique. More info is in the description and a link to a free ebook about Alexander technique and back pain. And also, if you want to share your experiences around back pain, the good, the bad, and the ugly, then please, again, make a comment.